Welcome to SwitchCorner, my name is Alex. Today we're going to be taking a look at my favourite Switch deals covering the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia. And this one, it's a massive week with Black Friday here. Definitely a little different this video, I will explain as we do get into it, but first off, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews and deals daily, and let's get started. So the Black Friday sale has begun. The thing is, it's not live in the US and Canada. That always comes last, with the UK, EU and AU getting a head start. The video today, then I've split it into two halves. That's mostly all regions at the very beginning, and then UK, EU and Australia for the back half of the video. Now I will let you know when we do get to that point, but they will be live this week, so either do wishlist them or go ahead and region hop. I'll also compile this and Thursday's under $10 video later in the week with the updated US and Canadian pricing as well. If you are going to be parting with your cash, then consider using cornershop.gg for discounted eShop credit. Save yourself a little extra. You'll actually get 10% off at checkout using code CORNER, and that's going to be instant delivery via email. We as a channel get a small kickback as well, which definitely helps out. You can even use US based cards for UK credit and vice versa, should you want to region hop. Finally, two winners to announce for two $10 eShop gift cards later in the video, and two more to give away. To enter, drop a comment down below, it's really that simple, and the winners, they'll be announced next week. Crash Bandicoot 4, it's about time to kick us off then. It's 50% off, a new low price, and this game, it is a gem. It not only did good by the character presenting what I'd call an experience which was in line with the series, but it took just enough risks that it felt exciting without pushing it too far out. Story, the usual, fight evil, this time by recovering quantum masks, and it packs multiple playable characters. It's also just a great looking port which has a solid frame rate throughout. Find my review in the pinned comment below. OlliOlli World gets a new low price then with 40% off, and this one a side-scrolling skateboarding adventure which I would consider almost a platformer as well. This one, like the original, it throws you into some incredible 2D locations, and you'll basically be asked to ollie, trick and grind all over the shop with multiple pathways to choose. I really like this game. The new cartoon visuals, they are stunning. Chasing, a better run is always addictive, and really the only miss for me, a fun story set around skate gods. It just feels a little overlong at points. Find my full review in the pinned comments. Garden Story then gets 40% off, a new low. This one, you find yourselves as a guardian of the grove, where you set out now to fight back a rat. Along the way, meet friends, help the locals and rebuild that home. It's definitely a fun game to watch, characters assisting you. There's really some entertaining side activities like gardening, of course. And yeah, the pixel work then is beautiful throughout. I also really like the soundtrack to wrap it all up. Just kind of gives me those, old school Zelda vibes, and that is never a bad thing. NBA 2K23 then, just a quick mention, I've not played this one. I picked up 22 super cheap pretty recently. I always jump in late, but I know it's always a popular one. Expect here though tons of microtransactions alongside a slew of modes and no doubt a roster update. My understanding, it's not a huge step forward, so do your research and watch out for that monster install size as well. A shout out then to Red Deer Games for sponsoring today's video with their two latest releases, PID and That's a Cow. Of course, they're celebrating this with massive discounts. PID, it's a respected puzzle platformer, and they're bringing it to the Switch with a massive 90% discount. The story, we fall asleep on the school bus, we awake on an alien planet, definitely a rough morning. Now we must solve these puzzles to return home. This one even supports local co-op, and I'm really liking that visual style. That's a Cow then, you are an animal rocket where you need to launch yourself with milk through this world. It's quite the concept, but there's more to it than just that as well. You can't get shot down, you must fight back. Along the way then unlock rewards, whether that's through progress or thanks to what is a claw machine every hour. Think here though, more than 100 levels and 20 cows to collect. Definitely unique, there's no question about that, and it gets a launch discount here of 70% off. Check them both out in the pinned comment down below though, let's show Red Deer some love. Soundfall then is here with 50% off, a new low price, another one I reviewed here on the channel, find that in the pinned comment, and I was mostly impressed. An isometric shooter that embraces a rhythm gameplay, so the idea, shoot and dodge in time to the music, all with a narrative surrounding, let's say, a musician that needs to find their way in a musical world. Looking basically for inspiration, I guess would be the best way to put it. Some good music, the combat's fun, the weaknesses for me, the enemy design, and the world, in fact, just weak. It's just bland environments. I actually found it best to select tracks than face the story, which for me felt like it kept you in the same place for far too long. Pascal's Wager, Definitive Edition then, and full of transparency. Still working my way through this one myself, but it's a hidden gem of a release. I actually believe it started on phones, but do not let that put you off. Solid mechanics, good Souls-like combat, and a really interesting world. This may be a good option, in fact, for those that want Souls, but let's call it a dash easier. I have been impressed though, it looks good as well on the Switch, and it's 20% off, that is a new low price. They've also expanded this console edition with additional content. The story, you're uncovering the mystery behind monsters and a dark mist. Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection then gets a new low here, 50% off. This is a bit more like it. I really enjoyed the game, even though the new visual style, it's not always for me, it just didn't quite sit right. But one thing I will say is the price, it felt just a tad too high. That said though, look, I think this price now much more fair, and if you want a hard as nails action game, then you absolutely come here. Many fans, you'll notice and recognise, designs and locations from past games, and we even then have local co-op. It can be played with a single Joy-Con, not that I would recommend it given the reaction time needed, and then we have 8 weapons to experiment with. So yeah, check out my full review in the pinned comment to see if this is going to be one for you. Alright, so that's the end of all regions, onto the heavy hitters now, and again only live in the UK, EU and Australia currently, but do expect to see these soon in the US and Canada. Now is going to be the time to wishlist those that you fancy, or if you absolutely cannot wait, go ahead and region hop. Again, you can pick up international eShop credit over at cornershop.gg. Also a minor self-plug as well here quickly, remember to check out XboxCorner too, because right now we are covering all of the Black Friday sales there as well. I've linked that again in the pinned comment below. No More Heroes free to kick us off, then a new low, 50% off. I adore this game. I'll say it up front as well. It has issues with its frame rate during the open world. It's also kind of an empty open world, honestly. But what you're coming here for is the combat, the 1v1 battles, where it locks out that frame rate. Travis Touchdown though, one of my favourite recent characters, and this time we are climbing the assassin leaderboard against what is invading aliens. It's completely out there, it can be vulgar, and it's just incredible for it. My review in the pinned comments. River City Girls then is one of the best brawlers on the Switch, and while it's always been more expensive than most, it is worth it because it's sizable for the genre. A single run, it's going to take you in the region of 8 or so hours, and these are games that are designed to be replayed. Also then, it's blending in some RPG elements as well, which really work, such as think weapons, items and abilities. Expect then to see a selection of the cast in here, but this time the boys, Kunio and Ricky, they are in trouble, and the girls are out to save the day. Fantastic cast, and a new low price here, 50% off. Tetris Effect then, one of the few 10 out of 10s I've given on the channel. It gets a new low here, 50% off. Find my review again in the pinned comment, but this, it's just a great spin on a classic formula. It's got everything from co-op to competitive online with crossplay, and then a story mode that has you traveling through what I'd describe as the universe. The visuals in this game, they are stunning. I actually think it's the best game out there to demo an OLED Switch screen, and yeah, I still play this weekly. I just can't resist the formula, and to me this is the best puzzle game on the system. It's also just as a concept really stood the test of time. Card Shark would be a good option for puzzle fans that want something a little different. This one, we're essentially a card hustler traveling the world raising that bank account. The story does evolve though, everything from, personal relationships to political intrigue. And yet even the opening moments of the game, our mother of sorts is murdered, and that's basically where we get into this way of life. It gets complex though, some of the tricks occasionally miss, I will say, but generally I was impressed with this 5 or so hour journey. Mastering the tricks as well, it's just incredibly rewarding, and you can check out my full review in the pinned comments. Fist forged in Shadow Torch, then it's a new low, 30% off, and this is a really solid Metroidvania. I reviewed it here on the channel, find that down below, but we exist in a world here that is controlled by an evil force, and we are essentially a bunny rabbit out to save the day with what is a big metal fist. Has a few functions as well, I think like drills and just complete devastation. We were also once part of a resistance that has since kind of bowed down. On the Switch then it looks decent as well, honestly it can't have been easy to do this port, but outside of some minor slowdown I really did enjoy it. Monster Hunter Rise, a new low then, 50% off, and this is a whole lot of bang for your buck. It can be played solo, but I think everyone knows this is going to be best when you jump online with a group of hunters. The gameplay loop here is simple enough, honestly. Hunt down these beasts, explore these locations, but the real entertainment for me, it's kind of that slow ramp in difficulty alongside all of the different upgrades and equipment. Something incredibly satisfying as well about a long drawn out battle finally coming to a close. New options in here as well, good fun, think like the wire bug. Digimon Survive then is one I'm still playing through at the moment. I'm really liking it. The game, it's a visual novel essentially, but with some SRPG moments baked in as well. It definitely has some performance issues, but given the genre, I do not think it has all of that much of an impact. And yeah, honestly, I've been loving the story. It's actually adult. We're on this island, and as the name suggests, we need to survive. Characters can die. It was just unexpected, and a lot complained about the gameplay, but they couldn't have warned us any more in the marketing. People just wanted something to complain about, but that's on them for not listening to every warning that Bandai Namco gave us. This one though, it's 30% off, and I will say as well actually, if you're in the US, this is getting a massive discount on physical as well from what I'm seeing, so maybe check that out over at GameStop. Demon Slayer then I loved. I had recently got into the anime just before this game, and you're best wrapping up season 1 at least before playing unless you want spoilers. This world though I love. The cast is fantastic, the combat is incredible, very much an arena brawler which I've always enjoyed, kind of a simplistic control scheme, and while the exploration between battles it was linear, I actually still didn't mind it. I thought it was a nice way to push the story forward, and I really enjoyed seeing some of these locations. If you like the anime though, I'm confident in saying you'll have a good time with this one. Also, it's just a great port as well. Find my review below, but it's a new low here, 40% off. No Man's Sky I'm personally playing right now. It's a game I constantly come back to. I actually picked this up back when it was first released, and it is such a different game now. As ports go though, it's incredibly impressive what they've achieved here, especially when you factor in just the incredible scale of this world. Taking off, you know, leaving a planet, landing on another, learning you're the first to ever see it. That just never gets old, and the concept, you need to get to the center of this galaxy. Along the way though, we will upgrade, encounter life forms, and simply try to survive. You can definitely push the frame rate if you go all out here with construction, but realistically it's rarely an issue, and No Man's Sky in the palm of your hands, again, it's just an impressive feat. 13 Sentinels then was another one of the 3 or 4 10 out of 10s I've given here on the channel over the last 5 years. It is one of my favourites, so if not my favourite of 2022. Part side-scrolling adventure, part strategic battles with a top-down design. It's essentially a story that tackles themes of future war in Tokyo and then time period hopping. Just incredibly well done. The battles though, full of transparency, they're designed in this kind of wire format, and they are incredibly easy no matter the difficulty you choose. So I say you're really coming to this one for the narrative. Find my full review in the pinned comment, but sci-fi fans, you will not regret picking this up. Our first winner of the video then, it's going to Trinell, who shouted out Hunter X. I definitely think that one is worth a look. Congrats though, drop me an email to claim your code, and everyone else, there's a second winner coming up here shortly in the video. Our penultimate game then, Metroid Dread, and what a game this is, 33% off. Honestly, if I had one complaint, it would be the insta-death moments initially got me frustrated at points opening the game, but otherwise, I think it's genius with an incredibly striking visual style, and launching it alongside the OLED, it was just a perfect time as demo games go. This time though, we are investigating what is a mysterious transmission. There's some incredible locations, and the boss moments are just epic. The final one in particular, just tough as nails. But yeah, look, great price, and no doubt this will be a popular one this Black Friday season. Our second winner then, it's going to Rick, who is waiting on a deeper sale for Dead Cells. From what I'm seeing, looks like it's going to be right around 40% this Black Friday season. Congrats though Rick, drop me an email to claim your code, and everyone else, drop a comment down below for your chance in next week's video. Persona 5 Royal then to close us out in a masterpiece of a JRPG and a personal favourite of the last few years. I actually have a performance review live here on the channel, I'll link that down below, but you'll easily get over 100 hours of gameplay from this one. The idea though, you can essentially see into people's minds and how they view themselves and the world. It gets incredibly dark at points, but that's what makes the story so unique, and then it's reinforced with what is an incredible cast and this fantastic visual style. It's a new low price then, that is 30% off. A quick mention actually on the back of this, if you want more action-packed kind of Persona, find Persona 5 Strikers on sale for a new low 60% off. Think all of the exploration and dialogue you love, but now with Warriors style combat instead of turn-based. They did a really good job of balancing the two styles in here, and I'll link my review in the pinned comment below. And that is the video down. Will you be adding anything to the library, or are you holding onto that cash? Maybe you're building out that wish list. Also, what did I miss? Let me know all of these different things in the comments down below. Once the sale is live in the US and Canada, then expect a compilation video where I add in all of the missing prices from today and go ahead and dig even deeper. With that then, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews and deals daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.